hearing about Tess, how did you find out she had passed away?
I found out, her dad called me in the morning. I guess it was 2 days ago. I found out, and it was really kind of odd how the transaction happened with locating next of kin and identifying loved ones. And I don't need to get into all the details, but several other people had been contacted before her dad even got a call. So it was just really kind of strange. They tracked her down by fingerprints, and I'm not sure how they routed themselves to all these other kind of outside individuals who are not directly associated, but sort of extensively associated. But yeah, I found out from a phone call from her dad. And when you live in a family with someone struggling with addiction, you always have that in your mind, knowing that you're prepared, you're braced at any time, any day for that call. You know, as we know, so many people are, dying from fentanyl overdoses. So you have that, you carry that with you 24/7, you carry that in your mind. And, I slept with my cell phone for that reason, for waiting, or if I got that call, or if she was in a hospital or she was in an emergency room, and just wanting to be there. And this, when I first got the call, she was, that she was dead, I was very saddened and shocked at this particular time again, because my dad and I had been in very close contact with her for the past 2.5 months at least, making arrangements for her to come back home here to Virginia, to go to Mount Regis, to get treatment here locally, to be close to her family. And it was not an easy feat because she was in active addiction, so to take a bus or travel by car, she would be going through withdrawal symptoms because a car ride is 2.5 to 3 days. So then we had remaneuvered our thinking, and we were going to get her on an airplane, a direct flight back here to Roanoke. And my dad, who has been so helpful and so instrumental, I mean, he had been calling airlines and trying to explain to them that she did not have any ID and they would not want to take her on a flight without an ID. So then I finally figured out, at first I didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to get an ID, and then I remembered that she had a temporary ID on file with the DMV. And I was able to get that. I spoke with Tess, got her passcode, and had her temporary ID, had her photo on it. Of course, it had, my address, the old address, and I sent all that information out to an address in Las Vegas that Tess told me to send it to, that she trusted, because she never had a permanent address. She went out there for rehab, and when she left and got back out on the streets, it was here, there, but there was an address that she would go to from time to time. But anyway, it was just December 16th, I got the text message from the person that I had sent her ID to, that he had received all of her information safely. He even told me, he said, I went out to look for her, I did not find her. And I got a couple of text messages, sporadically, a few days in between, about her indicating, yeah, I'm going to go, I'm going to get my ID, this and that, and but I'm concerned about Grandpa spending all this money on a plane ticket, so I'm going to see what I can do. And the last message I got from her on December the 23rd came through at 2:41 a.m. in the morning, our time, and it was a message saying that she had gotten on Suboxone, which is something that would help her make a travel safely. So usually, like I said, I sleep with my cell phone, and that particular night when her message came through, my cell phone was on silence because we'd been out to dinner and a movie with my dad. Because typically I would hear, the bleeps come through in the middle of the night, and again, I have no idea why it is just certain times. It was always sometime after midnight Vegas time, 3 a.m. our time, 5 a.m. in the morning our time. I would get text messages from her, and I could talk to her and respond, and whatever it is with their cell phone situations. I don't understand. Hard for them to make calls, but they can text or whatever. But so I didn't respond to that message that night like I usually would have, but I did that morning, which was several hours later when I saw that she had sent a message through. And I had no idea, no indication at all that she was in any kind of danger, that she had any worries. You know, she, in fact, had told me several messages before that when I kept saying, Tess, we just want you home. We want you home. We love you. We want you home. And she would say, I'm coming. Don't worry about me, Mom. I'm coming. Don't worry. And I sent her a message, of course, Christmas Eve, you know, Tess, we love you. Merry Christmas Eve. We love you. Nothing back, obviously. And Christmas Day, Merry Christmas, Tess. We love you. And nothing back. And then, what was it, the day after Christmas, I guess? I'm so out of touch with time right now, that the call came. So that kind of call, and I think even at that point in her life, in her journey with addiction, that she was so focused, and she had been so focused and solid for several months of like, I want to get home, I want to get home. And she would always assure me, you know, I'm not going to put myself in a dangerous situation. And you have to realize you're dealing with people who live on the street. So, you know, to me, it's always a dangerous situation, but for someone who's living their life like that and with addiction and in different homes, you know, her assurance of like, I can handle this, I'm okay, I'm not going to put myself in a dangerous situation. You always still know, it's like, sweet angel, you are walking the streets of Las Vegas. You are so innocent in your thinking of that because there are so many bad people out there, so many dangerous people.